Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm, relaxation, and as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. That's it. Breathing in a feeling of calm and relaxation, and scanning your body for any clues of tension, stress, or anxiety. And maybe there is tension in the tiny muscles in your forehead, jaw, neck, or shoulders. And just imagine as you're breathing in a warm feeling of resourceful relaxation that is melting away tension. And maybe you can use the power of your imagination to imagine an ice cube melting in the sunshine. And just imagine any tension that is echoes of a time when it was useful that isn't needed now is melting away every time you breathe in that resourceful relaxation. Just feel a sense of release and relief as you breathe out, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to imagine a child holding a brightly colored helium balloon. Just see it floating there. And as you stare into the colorful balloon, seeing it float effortlessly above that string, imagine how your head would feel if it was as light as that helium balloon, freeing you to release all the tension from your neck and your shoulders as it effortlessly feels like it's just floating. That's it, breathing in, breathing out. The deeper you breathe, the deeper relaxed you become. Eyelids feeling heavier and heavier. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a pathway in between trees. Imagine walking down the pathway, perhaps smelling the fragrance of any leaves from the trees. Maybe there's a blue sky and you can feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. And I want you to feel that the pathway is leading back to your past. A time when you felt safe, confident, that even though, as there is for everyone, there is risks in life, I want you to travel back down that pathway to a time that you felt your resources exceed any dangers, risks, or threats in your life. Walk down that pathway back to the past until there's a memory where you know for sure that version of you felt resourceful and equipped not to expect danger and not to want danger, but to feel prepared for it if it ever arose. And when you can see that version of you, resourceful, prepared, perhaps even confident, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to step into that version of you and feel how it feels to have a different evaluation of risk. no delusion that no risks exist, but no paranoia, no hypervigilance that risks and threats are guaranteed. I want you to find yourself at the equilibrium where you can accurately evaluate risk and to take reasonable measures to mitigate them. And I want you to recall a time in your past that you know for sure you could sleep completely on your own and still feel that you've mitigated risks and you could sleep soundly. Travel to that place, feel like you're back in your body, in familiar environments where perhaps you recognize a bedroom and bed from your past. And when you can see that place, let me know by nodding your head. Imagine you're wearing whatever clothing you would wear to sleep in that bed back then. Imagine placing your head on a pillow. Imagine the lighting is the level of lighting just before you would drift off to sleep. You recognize the room, the door, the window. You are accurately evaluating a low level of risk and feeling that you are prepared in the very unlikely event that something happens. And in doing so, notice how relaxed you could feel with your head on the pillow. You can breathe in and breathe out deeply. Imagine just within your imagination having a long, relaxing yawn, as you can imagine what it would be like to really relax in that bed. Just a bed in your imagination, but a bed where you felt resourceful, relaxed, calm, cozy, and sleepy. I will count down from 10 to 1, and I want you to imagine what it would feel like to fall asleep in that bed back then, but as if you're in your own body, feeling your eyelids getting heavier and heavier. 10, releasing any tension in your forehead. 9, focusing now, releasing any tension in your jaw. Breathing in, breathing out, focusing now. 8, on anything connected to breathing, nostrils, windpipe, lungs, all the way down to your diaphragm. Effortlessly breathing now. 7, focusing now on your neck and your shoulders. Having that tension melt away there in that bed back then, feeling like you're drifting off into a deep, resourceful, confident sleep. 6, arms feeling limp, loose, heavy, like a puppet with no strings. That's it. Deeper and deeper relaxed. 5, allowing your internal organs to relax. Stomach, heart, lungs, diaphragm, all releasing any tension. 5 becomes 4, and now focus on the gut. If the neck and the shoulders are the bank account of stress, the gut is the bank account of anxiety, and just release any anxiety there from the gut. You can breathe really deep down in the diaphragm. 3 becomes 2, legs feeling limp, loose, heavy, just like the arms, drifting off. 2 and then 1, and imagine how it would feel to drift off into a dreamlike sleep in that bed back then, thinking about a future you haven't experienced yet. Open your mind to the possibility that for a long while now, you've been evaluating the opposite of reality. Maybe for a while you've been evaluating unconsciously high level of threats and low levels of resources, but what if that wasn't true? What if all of these times you haven't just been lucky? You've been evaluating them incorrectly, and that all this time you've been living in a reality with a very low possibility of a threat or danger, and disproportionately high resources to mitigate any threats or dangers, even if they arose. If your mind is receptive to recalibrating the seesaw of beliefs, to flip it the other way, let me know by nodding your head. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling deeper and deeper relaxed. You feel surrounded by a blanket of safety, understanding the space around you as your personal sanctuary, especially when you are alone. Any duvet, anything touching your skin will feel like a barrier of safety. And every night, on those nights that you prepare to sleep alone, you're filled with a deep sense of peace, knowing the probability of any threat is incredibly low. And you trust in your ability to be resourceful and capable, confident in your ability to handle any situation in the unlikely event that it may arise. You can evaluate that your home is equipped with security measures, not because you need them, just because it's useful to have more resources than you will ever need. Your security system panic button aren't to protect you from threats, it's to feel over-resourced in the unlikely event that something does happen. You evaluate the presence of your loyal dogs in your house as an additional level of resource, not just companionship, but an alert if it was ever needed, ensuring that you're never truly alone. And you can take comfort in knowing that the telephone that's within reach can connect you to help in the unlikely event that you would ever need it. Threats, low probability. Resources, high. Lots of resources, low possibility of a threat. Gives you a feeling of having a sledgehammer to crack a nut. The community of neighbours around you acts as a supportive network, creating a shared environment of safety and watchfulness. When you zoom out, you are not alone. You're in a neighborhood. And you understand the statistical improbability of facing any danger, reinforcing your sense of security in your own space. And And in that tiny, unlikely event of a threat, you are empowered by the knowledge that you have quick and effective means to deal with any danger. As you think about your present and your future, you relax completely, your mind at ease, knowing you've taken all necessary precautions to mitigate risk. And this isn't because of the possibility of danger or threats. Consider it no different from brushing your teeth or taking a shower. Just good practice. And you can appreciate the strength and calm within you, recognizing these as your innate resources. You can feel strong, not because you need it, just in case you need it. You sleep soundly, reassured by the understanding that your environment is designed to protect and comfort you. Your confidence in your safety measures allows you to enjoy any moments of independence, valuing those occasions, giving you a gift of solitude. You feel a powerful connection to your intuition, trusting it to guide you in recognizing your own safety and addressing any concerns, but acknowledging that you are safe. You can visualize your home as a fortress of peace, impenetrable to external threats. Imagine a fortress in a safe neighborhood with no dangers around. That gives you a sense, low risk and high resources, enabling you to sleep like a log. And the more you acknowledge the low probability of danger with rationality and calm, you can focus instead on your ability to enjoy the peace and serenity of your surroundings. Because your home is a haven where you freely express yourself and enjoy your privacy. You can appreciate the resources around you without feeling like you need them. You can feel safe and secure, especially when alone. As you reflect on the past where risks and threats were higher and yet you still slept soundly, means that based on this comparison, now that you evaluate that threats and risks are very low and resources are so high, you can sleep better than ever before. You can embrace and enjoy these moments of solitude with complete peace of mind. I want you to imagine going forwards in time to the next time that you sleep alone. Imagine getting ready to go to sleep, and you could imagine checking doors are locked, alarms are activated, not because you need to, it's just good practice to ensure You're doing what's needed to mitigate the unlikely probability of risk. Maybe you could acknowledge the presence of dogs in the house. And I want you to get an overall evaluation of safety, of tranquility, and imagine drifting off to sleep, feeling completely relaxed, safe, and protected. And as you do so, feel like the version of you in the past is now connecting with the version of you in the future. In both cases, feeling like you can sleep safely, resourcefully, and with full relaxation. As the past and the future fuse into one, feel like you're about to awaken into the present. And as you awaken, you will feel resourceful, feeling like the seesaw of evaluations has now flipped the other way. Low risk, high resources. And the resources are there not because you need them, but in the unlikely event that you do need them, they are there. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect fully with the present moment. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, confident, with a new framework of evaluation. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.